Congratulations. You found the Twin Cities hit show.
Very well. Where do I begin?
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
You're lucky to be here.
Thank you, sir.
Reach for this one.
And now, a real hit show.
Only in a world this shitty could you even try to say these were innocent people and keep a straight face.
Live from the Twin Cities.
We tolerate it because it's common. It's trivial. We tolerate it morning, noon, and night.
It's the Twin Cities hit show.
I'm setting the example. And what I've done is going to be puzzled over and studied and followed.
Let's get this hit show started.
Well then.
Yeah, I got to talk to our producer. I have no idea what that clip was from.
Awfully creepy, and I guess there's creepy things in the news today.
Lots of creepiness.
Let me see, I got an email coming in now from the producer. That was Kevin Spacey.
Oh.
From a creepy little movie called Seven.
I remember that movie.
One of Brad Pitt's better movies. But again, quite creepy.
I forgot he was in that.
He was the star.
Yeah, I forgot it.
Morgan Freeman was his partner as they went through the 7 deadly sins.
I remember that. I remember the movie itself. I forgot him actually being in it. He's one of my favorite actors. How sad is that?
That arithmetic is horrible. How does that add up?
It doesn't.
I love Brad Pitt. I forgot he was in one of the... Never mind.
No, Spacey. I remember Pitt.
I get lost when I drive in the world of Chuck.
No, my brain is just so scrambled sometimes. It's amazing how some of those things even connect.
I think we need to hire your son, though. We needed him more on the microphone yesterday, but he was funnier off the microphone. But he's I would like to get his insight into the what it takes to be president, what he thinks of Adrian Peterson. All those things.
Yeah, well, we can Skype anytime, and you know what? He's going to come here a lot with me. So
is that right?
Yeah.
What do you think he's going to be when he grows up?
God, I hope not a cop. First of all,
cop or a comedian?
I think comedian.
They both have issues this year.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Lots of issues for cops, and if you're Bill Cosby, well, yeah,
it seems to be going well for him. I think
when there was that much smoke. And now there appears to be proof of fire happening. If you haven't heard him, I'm sure it's all over the news, but it kind of broke yesterday. The deposition that he and his lawyers wanted to keep quiet from a woman who accused him of drugging her and raping her. They settled out of court. The Associated Press, under the Freedom of Press Act, said, this is information that needs to be out there, and lo and behold, it came out. Well, here's a little bit of what happened.
Good morning. More than 24 women have accused the comedian of drugging and sexually assaulting them. Cosby has denied it, but we're learning a lot more after documents from a 10-year-old sexual abuse lawsuit were unsealed on Monday. After a decade of denials, here are Bill Cosby's own words from a deposition he gave in a sexual assault suit filed in 2005. In it, a lawyer asked Cosby about a 19-year-old unnamed accuser. Cosby says, "She meets me backstage. I give her Quaaludes. We then have sex. If anything, I think she may very well have been very happy to be around the show business surroundings."
Oh, she had it coming.
The lawyer asks, "Starstruck?" Cosby replies, "You'll have to ask her." The case was brought by Andrea Constant, then an employee at Temple University, Cosby's alma mater. Constant's lawyer asked Cosby about prescriptions he obtained for the Quaaludes. The lawyer asked, "When you got the Quaaludes, was it in your mind that you were going to use these Quaaludes for young women that you wanted to have sex with?" "Yes," Cosby replies. She asks, "Did you ever give any of those young women the Quaaludes without their knowledge?" Cosby's lawyer objected repeatedly throughout the deposition.
Hey now, whoa there.
That's out of bounds. That's the truth. You're going after the truth here.
Hey, what time's lunch?
And Cosby never answered whether he actually drugged any women against their will. The case was settled and the documents sealed until the Associated Press went to court and argued successfully to have them released. Joan Tarsis is one of Cosby's numerous accusers. She says this validates what she and others have been saying for years.
I've been called a liar. I mean, he called me and the other women a liar in the press. And now people know that we're not liars anymore.
The scandal forced Cosby to resign from the Board of Trustees at Temple University and led NBC and Netflix to pull the plug on a comedy series he was working on. After a string of canceled live appearances, he returned to the stage, but not without frequent heckling.
38 women called you a rapist!
Now, a lot
Awkward.
of women who may be afraid to come forward and talk about their rapes may be empowered by this situation, and that's the best thing that I can hope for.
Wow.
And late Monday, a Cosby representative issued a statement to ABC News. It says the only reason Cosby settled the case with Constand was it would have been hurtful and embarrassing to put the women involved on the stand, and his own family had no clue.
That's sweet of him.
But I'm a creep.
You know, I think that's the neat part of it, though. What a sweet guy. He's willing to save these victims the trouble of having to go through suing him and have him prosecuted. And you know what? There's no greater good than that, really. So.
Oh, my gosh.
Is there anyone left who's a hero? I mean, seriously, I've looked up to Bill Cosby for I can't tell you how many years. This is... Ugh.
Well, and again, you got to wonder what level of mental illness is he dealing with, and that he thinks it's all going to go away, and that he's going to get away with it. He tried to perform or whatever this year, and he does have ladies, protesters. I'm sure there's dudes as well calling him out. Well, who was the comedian who first called him out? Not first, but got the ball rolling
Kevin
again.
Hart?
No, he's got not Kevin Hart. He's got his own comedy special, or not special, series starting here, I believe, this summer called Why with Hannibal Buress.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah. That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yep,
so
Hannibal Buress.
You would think he would be so embarrassed and contrite and go, I need help, I apologize to all these women, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's what you do if you're an upright person.
Well, obviously, an upright person doesn't drug people for sex.
Not a creep.
Yeah. Yeah, an upright person doesn't do this in the first place. But then I think there's the hope that, well, you know, I can get ahead of this and it'll be fine. And I can pay this person off and it'll be fine. And, well, it's starting to fall apart, but it'll be fine. You remember his son got killed on the side of the highway?
Yeah, what was that about? I mean, I know
drug
we all
deal.
felt sorry for him.
Drug ripper or some, so he owed someone drug money, so they killed him on the side of the 405. And
is that actually what happened?
Yeah.
I don't recall there being nefarious details like that involved. I know that we, as a nation, all felt sorry for Bill Cosby, and then his son died, but I thought it was for more honest circumstances, like a crash or...
while changing a flat tire.
Yeah. Changing a flat tire.
Yeah, I thought there was a lot more to it.
Look at you trying to pile on to poor Bill. Just because Dad's a creep.
No, it's weird. Quietly, I always put that in my little Rolodex of judgment and think, there's something weird going on there,
dude.
Well, you know, I tend to be cynical about
his son was changing a tire.
Got to be more.
And moments ago, if I hadn't made you look it up, we would have let that lie there. And it's like, no, the kid was innocent.
But here's the guy who confessed to it.
Yeah.
Insisting on
How dare he change a flat tire? His son. Like father, like son. I bet you he was trying to drug the tire and molest it.
I went to here we go. At his trial, prosecutors relied on jailhouse letters where he allegedly confessed to slang and writes, I shot the N-word. I went to rob a drug connection, obviously found something else. So maybe there's no proof of that, but that was kind of what he was alleging early on in his jailhouse confession.
He went to... Oh, he was shot while changing a tire? It wasn't a traffic accident?
Nope. Cosby was shot while changing a tire by this guy who says that I went to rob a drug connection. Obviously found something else. So I have no idea how that even happens. But, yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay, well, that's slightly muddy there, but it sounds like Bill Cosby's son was innocent.
Yeah.
This is sound that you can find on the internets from Bill talking to Larry King about the joys of a drug called Spanish Fly. Innocent little name, Spanish Fly. But listen to what it does and why he liked it.
Spanish Fly was the thing that all boys from age 11 on up to death, we will still be searching for Spanish Fly.
That's right.
And what was the old story was, if you took a little drop, no, it was on the head of a pin.
That's right.
And
Drop
you put
it
it
in
in
a
the drink.
Coca-Cola. Don't matter.
It doesn't make it, and the girl would drink it, and
she's yours.
Hello, America.
Wow, listen how gleefully he describes Spanish Fly, and it sounds like he found his own version of Spanish Fly in Quaaludes, and I think that turned into roofies because Quaaludes went away. They became illegal, and then they disappeared from the market. They were stopped being manufactured. So is he in trouble legally? Here's a legal expert from CBS commenting.
He bought the drugs perhaps in the 1970s. He may or may not have used them on other women in the 1990s. One of the things that his lawyers did in the deposition, which is not receiving a lot of news coverage, is that they stopped the deposition and that Bill Cosby says he misunderstood the question. Yes, he used the Quaaludes with one woman, but again, there was a time in recreational drug use when people used Quaaludes consensually for sex.
Oh, those are the good old days.
However, in the court of public opinion, this is the most damning evidence of all.
Yeah, because now people like Jill Scott, Grammy Award-winning singer, who originally said, I still love Bill Cosby, she publicly now has said, oops, that's enough. If he's buying Quaaludes and drugging ladies, I guess he is guilty.
Yeah. Man.
Now people who were defending him are starting to go, ooh.
I just find this somewhat, I find it devastating. You know, he really came across as the family guy, and I realize everyone's got their public persona and their private persona, but man, to see something so drastically different like this guy is just a kick in the nuts for me.
Would you go to his show if he was at Mystic Lake?
No, I wouldn't anymore. If he came forward and I don't even know what he could do. How can you justify doing that as a human being? No, I know I wouldn't.
And it's a combination. There's nothing you can do now, but go away.
Yeah.
And preferably, maybe, I mean, he may end up spending his end of his life in prison. If these trials happen.
Well, it sounds like there's plenty within recent time that would be inside the statute of limitations. He could fry on this.
Back in the day, Bill's family comedy, though, and he had insight on ladies and men and sexual attraction.
First of all, you wouldn't be pregnant had Eve just walked around without biting on an apple, see. But she wanted to impress Adam, and you know men, they remain constant all the time. I mean, a man is like that 24 hours a day. And a woman is constant. Come here. Oh, get away. So you got a real act going, you know. Get away. So they're running around the garden, you know, doing that act. Give me back. So she got bored, reached up, bit, ate the apple, realized she was out of line. Figured I might as well take him with. You want to take a bite? Oh, yeah, he's so bad off, he don't care. Had she brought an old dead elephant's foot over, he'd have eaten that up, you know. I love you. The Lord seen him doing that. Everybody, out of the pool. That's it. All right, get out. Everybody.
So that gives a little insight as how he sees sexual attraction.
Can you listen to this anymore and not just be disturbed? Is there any of his comedy that would even be funny anymore? That's so troubling.
Look up Russell Wilson, quarterback for Seattle. I think he was on track. He of course won quarterback Seattle Seahawks, the Super Bowl. I believe he was on track. He's asking for like $46 million to be the highest paid football player in history. See if there's something about his contract. I know right now he's pinging because of what he said the other day about his relationship. And we're going to talk about that here because it's the opposite of what's happening with Bill Cosby. Yeah, Russell Wilson's contract. What's the amount?
$2,990,000. Hold on.
No. Wait.
He's scheduled to make a base salary of $798,000. That sounds really low.
Yeah, and he's holding out for something like $46 million. When is the information you're looking there? What's the date on that? Is that recent?
This is recent. Where did it go? Okay.
This is his girlfriend who's singing right now.
Oh.
I can't keep my hands off you. Your body is my party.
Your body is my party. There's not a lot recently about Russell Wilson in the contract.
Yeah, he's holding out for a huge amount of money. Anyway, he was on a show, a religious show, with someone he calls his friend, and it seems like a really cool guy. And it got into his relationship, and it's with Sierra. And his deal is, I mean, here she is, very sexy singer, sexy videos, and they're going to abstain from sex.
And I was looking at her in the mirror. I was, sitting in the dressing room. She was getting ready to go about 15 minutes before she went on stage, and she was sitting there, and God spoke to me and said, "I need you to lead her." And I was like, "Really? I know." I was like, "Ah,
and what does that mean?
I'm looking at this and he goes, "No, I want you and need you to lead her."
I always question when God speaks to someone specifically like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear my voice of my conscience, but I never get God. I don't hear a specific voice going, "Hey, you're going to need to do a U-turn and go back there and do the laundry as you promised."
I sometimes I'll hear God at the weirdest times, like, "Hey, don't put those raspberries in that oatmeal." And
he's
not the raspberries.
He's very abstract that way, God, for you.
Yeah, it's random stuff. Or Chuck, take a right here, not a left. And like, oh, thank you, way better than MapQuest.
Oh, see, God gives you driving directions now and then too.
Yeah, it's
well, for Russell Wilson, evidently it was very specific in that he needs to lead Sierra, this sexy R&B singer. Let's let him continue here for a moment.
And so, anyways, I told her, right then and there, I said, what would you do if we took all that extra stuff off the table, and just did it Jesus' way and make sure that, and she was like, "Really, do that?"
Elaborate what that means, because there's a lot of people out here, their minds are going a whole lot of different places right now.
Oh, my mind's going places.
What is Jesus' way? Chuck, you're a comedian. Come on.
I'm a Jew, so I'm just struck. This whole whole morning is about despair. Bill Cosby and now Russell Wilson getting messages from God as he's about to.
I'm trying to say in the news, there's an opposite way of life happening, according to Russell Wilson, if we are to believe him, because Jesus' way is.
And we want to know.
Yeah, we're talking about sex. So,
we want to know.
So for me, I knew that God had brought me into her life to bless her and for her to bless me and to bless so many people with the impact that she has, that I have. We're not going to be perfect by any means. It's not, life's not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but he's anointed both of us. I know that he's calling for us to do something miraculous, something special. And I told her, I said to her, and she completely agreed. And it was the fact that could we love each other without that? If you can really love somebody without that, then you can really love somebody.
Hey, Rusty, you and I have never done that, and I love you.
So I need
without it.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all now. I need y'all to pray for us.
Oh, God!
I know y'all seen it on the screen now.
See, what you need to do is get one of these real quick. I can hook you up real quick. I can buy the boom, buy the bang.
Oh, my God.
That's good. We're good.
If there's a 10, she's a 15.
I got you.
I need y'all to pray.
So they are practicing abstinence, and now this is making news on the sports radio conversation, as well as just in the general conversation. Obviously, that's a better example than roofing and quaaluding your date, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I just think that Bill Cosby, in his own way, was giving a gift to God by drugging these women and having sex with them, and I think that's his way of playing penance. And Russell Wilson, takes a different direction.
I can't imagine.
Who are we to judge?
His
really?
girlfriend of 6 months, who is smoking hot. You look at the video. If she puts this song on and starts dancing.
Yeah, but what if you're in the middle
Your
of
body is my party is the song.
Okay, so you're about ready. You're like, hey, this is a big thing, and all of a sudden God speaks to you, and you're like, I get it. And God, do you see me in my underwear right now? Because this is creepy.
I'm going to break down like the minister in Caddyshack and get angry at God if this is.
Why, God? Look who's here, and what great timing. Bryan Miller, comedian
hello.
extraordinaire. What do you think about all this?
Did God speak to you on the way here? Did you have
It was a short drive, so he didn't, but,
normally?
It's a little early for God. We're more afternoon guys. I think Russell Wilson's just a product.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good product, but he's a product. He does everything right to the point where there's no way that's what he's like.
But it didn't work.
No, for real. I mean, I don't know. I
yeah.
follow the NFL. I write the Quick Snaps podcast I write for with Stocky Economopoulos. And but Russell Wilson is so well managed. I'm not saying he's not even a nice guy, but his profile is managed to maximize his potential.
And isn't he holding out for some huge contract? Or
and he deserves it. Yeah, he deserves it. But
astronomical deal that he may not even be back with the Seahawks.
Oh, he'll be back with the Seahawks 100% for sure.
But he's not going to get $46 million a year or whatever.
I don't know. It's hard to say. All that being a product feeds into that. The endorsement deals, the bright attitude. He does everything right. He does everything in a very curated way. He's clearly got a management team behind him. And the whole point is that ultimately he's so valuable to the city and to the team. That he gets the $46 million. Whereas a guy like Michael Vick is easier to kick to the side.
Yeah. Right.
So you think the management team gets involved in his bedroom business?
But
too?
is he going to be able?
No, they tell him what to say though.
Yeah.
Is he going to be able to play with blue balls and a raging boner? I don't think.
Do you believe for 1 second if he's managed that this is actually what happened?
No, I don't think this is what happens. I think Tim Tebow is actually abstinent. I genuinely believe that, and but I don't believe it about.
And how did that play into the "We hate Tebow"? His "I am holier than thou."
Well, he was douchier about it because he would pray on the sidelines and everything. I mean, I think Russell Wilson's team probably said like, "Hey, we got to find the right balance. Like, clearly praying on the sidelines is too much, right? Maybe don't stage a dogfight in your back shed. That's a little far on the other side. You got to find that pendulum swing." And I think that's about where they found it. Was like, this is just the right amount.
Yeah, because you do see, almost every player looks up to God because Jesus loves football on Sunday. But I guess Tebow just went a little too far with his presentation.
It's like with a presidential candidate. It's like you want a presidential candidate who's going to pretend to be really religious, but when you get one like George W. Bush who actually is, it's like, oh shit, this is really bad. The true believer can't be controlled. Whereas, Russell, I mean, I'm not even saying he doesn't believe in God, but I'm saying he's got a manager going, here's how we say, Russell, here's what we do, Russell. I mean, that guy's a giant treasure chest just waiting to be opened for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And, well, as long as we're talking bad life choices, hey, how about that Adrian Peterson?
What, has he done anything new lately, or is he still just being the general douchebag?
As far as, but he's coming back. We love him now again, don't we?
Boy.
I was indifferent from the start. I mean, I get the social background, and I don't think he handled it super well, but he's just a dude playing football who was raised in a weird...
Let's say you overpunished your kid or something. I don't have a kid, so I don't have a skin in the game, as it were. But like, you're not allowed to work for 4 years. That's ridiculous. Why do we hold these standards? I don't understand why athletes have to be punished for things outside of that arena. I mean, I understand the NFL doesn't. If you found out your employee was going on for 9 counts of sexual assault, maybe you fire him. But like, oh, you got a DUI? Yeah, you can come into work tomorrow, buddy. You just need to get a ride. But in the NFL, suddenly that disqualifies you from doing work. I don't really buy that. I'm a fan of Woody Allen movies. He's a terrible person, and I see all his movies. So what am I going to be mad at Adrian Peterson for spanking his kid too hard, and then I'm going to go watch Crimes and Misdemeanors again? Nah, it doesn't work.
Yeah, that makes sense.
His whooping though was the photos are what made me go Jesus.
Oh, they showed.
And then his lack of apology, and then the Twitter rants were like, come on, dude. He needed to be managed. I'm surprised.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And he seems like a bit of a douche, but, was he not? His job isn't necessarily to not be a douche. His job is to run really well through the holes that the offensive line provides.
Ooh, well done with the mission statement, Bryan Miller.
It is what it is.
He is representing a product that needs to be tasty to the consumer. So if it's putting a bad taste in your mouth,
True.
You're like, I don't
But see,
know.
now we've clearly now left the realm of morality, and now we're just into capitalism again. And so, if it's just a matter of what the product, then the moral thing becomes completely removed from the equation.
I happen to know a guy who worked 30 years in television, and one DWI lost him his career.
What a loser!
Yeah,
seriously, who would that be?
Well, he's doing all right now.
Yeah.
But stuff like that's I always think stuff like that's ridiculous because it's like we pick certain crimes, let's say, or whatever, and say, well, that's an unforgivable crime to get you fired. It's like, well, what if you had $1,000 in parking tickets, or what if you, I don't know, what if you did some other douchey thing, whatever. Everybody does something. Everybody's done something, and so this sort of Mount Pious, holier than thou. We've designated certain crimes. I mean, obviously, certain, If you murder a daycare center's worth of children, then maybe, you don't get to come back to stop and go the next day.
You do not get to play in the NFL next year.
You got to sit 3 games.
After shooting up KinderCare, you cannot be a running back.
I know one job that I think might be opening up soon, and that is as spokesperson for Subway.
I saw that.
Oh.
FBI agents raided iconic Subway pitchman Jared Fogel's Indiana home Tuesday as part of a child porn investigation. The 37-year-old was detained in his Zionsville house as a special task force removed electronics from the property, according to reports. Fogel is not under arrest at this time, and it is not clear if he is the focus of the investigation. In May, Russell Taylor, the executive director of the Jared Foundation, a nonprofit founded by Fogel to battle childhood obesity, was arrested on child pornography charges. The foundation cut ties with the 43-year-old after his arrest. Fogel became the face of Subway after he lost 245 pounds by eating nothing but the sandwich shop's food.
I said from the get-go that I hope he's saving his money, this Jared from Subway. Please tell me you're saving your money and you're not overextending yourself, because this is going to end. I did not predict it ending this way.
He's the Jerry Sandusky of cold cuts.
Exactly.
Well done. I'd heard somewhere along the line years ago, I'd read something that he was into major porn back in the day.
You also heard Bill Cosby's kid was a drug dealer.
There was close.
That was the rumor of why he was shot, right?
Yeah.
So there was that rumor. Yeah, we had to look it up. I heard he was hit. There was a traffic deal. And it was a combination of Chuck and I were both muddying the waters. He was changing a tire, and then some guy shot him.
But the guy confessed that he was on the way to. Murky confession, but he said that he was tied in with a drug deal. But
he was on his way to a drug deal, and you said, and then that happened. But maybe there's more. We only looked at one thing. What have you heard?
I remember hearing that rumor, but I don't think that was ever particularly confirmed. And I don't know. I mean, it might just be that old Jared was tied in with the wrong guy. He might be the Joe Paterno of cold cuts instead of the Jerry Sandusky of cold cuts.
There you go.
He might be Jerry Sandusky adjacent.
You saw those cold cuts in the shower. You didn't call anyone. Disgusting.
Yeah. It doesn't smell very well right now. That's for sure.
No, that's going to be a problem for Subway.
Yeah. And I guess they should have known, because I guess Jared would constantly order the kiddie meal at Subway.
Oh, gross.
That should have been a warning flag. Yeah. Stop with the kiddie meal.
What a weird spokesman. Here's a boring guy who eats a lot of sandwiches. What else does he do? I don't know. That's it. That's what he does.
And remember, he was like put out suspension because he got busted hitting all the strip clubs.
Really?
Check out, making it rain. It's like, dude.
Oh, I don't remember. I didn't remember that.
A sandwich guy. That was like 4 years ago, and someone had to do a come to Jesus with him. And I think maybe that's when he started the foundation to sprinkle himself with a different aura.
All the dollar bills smelled like that processed bread they sell. Everything goes, oh, yeah.
This isn't my joke, but somebody said this is the most accurate thing ever, that Subway smells like a loaf of bread took a dump. I'm like, yes, that is exactly what it is.
It is, yeah. It's
Subway is the most hideous. How do you... We can curse in here, right?
Chuck,
hell yeah.
Yeah, how do you fuck up a sandwich?
Yeah.
How do you fuck up 2 pieces of bread and a piece of turkey? But if Subway made a shit sandwich, it would taste exactly like their turkey sandwich. Everything at Subway tastes exactly the same. I think the lettuce is made out of the same.
You know how you
bread.
screw it up? You hire someone like the people they hire, and you call them an artist, and those people suck, and they're all angry and pissed off, and they grab that little mayonnaise
By
thing.
the way, Chuck, that reminds me, cancel our sponsor meeting with Subway next week.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have time to talk to someone else now.
You know, they might not even notice because they got problems, bigger problems now. You know who's happy as the Blimpies guy. He's like, yeah, finally, we're gonna get some market shares back. He and Jimmy John are high-fiving somewhere.
Because even if he doesn't, even if he gets exonerated or whatever, there is no connection. There's still now a smell.
That's a particularly bad association.
Yeah.
You know?
But I didn't fondle them. I didn't. And by the way, you could get your chicken teriyaki for $5.
They had a picture of his house on the news. His house looked nice but reasonable.
Nice but reasonable.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it looked like he saved his money,
Okay,
but
good.
you know, he invested it in property. You know,
Or maybe that's all he could afford, and he's double mortgaged on that rambler.
yeah, maybe he's got a big video setup, a big AV.
It does look nice but reasonable. It's kind of suburban, middle class.
Yeah, that's an Indiana mansion.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, he's in Indiana. That buys a lot there in
A lot of
Indiana.
weird stuff happens in Indiana. So.
Wow, you would never expect to see a picture of Jared Fogle holding up a pair of old pants. Wow, that is not cliche at all. That's neat.
We are going to take a break. When we come back, a Hollywood legend passed away yesterday. I actually had a chance to talk to Jerry Weintraub, fantastic guy. We're going to talk comedy. If we have some time, we're going to talk crime because, you know, Chuck loves the crime.
Love the crime.
He loves them, their crimes. All right? And, yeah, we're going to talk, we'll lighten it up. Talk some funny stuff, too, all right? Promise.
The Twin Cities Hit Show. We'll be right back.
MacMen. Don't let your computer problems drive you mad. We are MacMen, Minnesota's premier tech consultants and problem solvers for Macs, mobile devices, troubleshooting, training, and much more. No more dragging your computer all over town because we come to you. We love making house calls to your home or small business. MacMen. Call 612-345-8005.
The term foodie can sometimes come across as a tickle pretentious. BT and Lydia are here to demystify the term and reclaim it for the sake of good food. Their weekly podcast brings in fellow foodies and culture creators from the Twin Cities to talk about all things food. Find this duo only on the Alive and Social Network.
The one and only Chart House. Your destination, whether dining for two, drinks with friends, or making up for that night with friends. Join us at the Chart House for brunch, dinner, or drinks.
Hi, I'm Josh Rupert, and I'd like to invite you to my restaurant, and I'll buy half your dinner. Go to charthouserestaurant.com to find out more.
Visit charthouserestaurant.com today for your special offer. And then come visit Chart House in person. Your table is waiting.
The Rusty Gatenby Review is the entertaining show about entertainment from movies, music, and more. Award-winning TV guy Rusty Gatenby and his review is the podcast with the biggest cast in entertainment, part of the Alive and Social Network. You can get that Minnesota connection to Hollywood and beyond any time of the day or night simply by clicking on the RustyGatenbyReview.com. That's the
You're listening to the Twin Cities Hit Show.
Say it 3 times fast. We just dare you.
All right, here we go. It's a Tuesday.
It is very Tuesday.
It's been a fun Tuesday talking about rape and child molestation. And
weight loss. Could you look at the positive side? We're talking about weight loss.
We talk about weight loss and
successful capitalism,
rape, Successful capitalism.
Yeah, there's
rape loss.
First two stories I saw when I woke up was Jared and Bill Cosby. I was like, Jesus.
They got a new
Two
show.
guys famous for loving sandwiches. Oh my God! I think we found the problem. I think it's the sandwiches. The sandwiches are causing the sexual assaults.
You see, you eat the sandwiches, it is a bit of jello
Because you remember
in
when,
your pants.
when Heathcliff got pregnant, Heathcliff Huxtable got pregnant in the dream sequence, and then all the men gave birth, and they gave birth to what they really love, and he gave birth to a giant sandwich.
No,
That was an episode of the Cosby Show.
I didn't
Famous
watch that
episode
show
of the
because he's a
Cosby Show.
child. He's a pervert. And
Oh,
I
you
won't
didn't
watch
know
his
it.
show.
I loved the Cosby Show when I was a kid, and he gave birth to a sandwich.
He was a cool
He gave
dad,
birth
wasn't
to a
he?
sandwich.
He did. I swear to God, there's an episode where he gives birth to a sandwich.
Was there
I'm in
9?
no way kidding.
What did he push it out of?
They did the blanket over that part.
Yeah, see, we're going Barbie on that one, and I don't
Yeah.
like that. It's
Yeah. 9 seasons, I think, Cosby Show. Are they pulling that like they're pulling the Dukes of Hazzards, I wonder?
Yeah, they did. They pulled him off Nick at Night.
already.
Mhm. Yeah,
already.
They did it a while back. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Listen to comedian Bryan Miller. Bryan, where can people see you, first of all? Or you said you have a podcast.
I write for the Quick Snaps podcast. I actually don't appear on it. It's the podcast version of the Bob and Tom football segment that we do every week.
Nice.
Kostaki Economopoulos is the guy for that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm.
Well,
I'm
screw them
around.
for not letting you on. What the hell's their
They
deal?
tape it in New York, so I can't.
Oh. That's fine. New York's, fly you out there.
Every week to talk about
piece of
football.
cake, yeah.
But I'll be this week. I'll be at Acme tonight, Tuesday through Saturday with Andy Kindler.
Oh wow,
That'll be fun. And I'm at Acme every Monday, and I'm at 39th and Lindale. If you just want to hang out, you can see me there. I go to Vo's Vietnamese for lunch a lot. So you can see me at
Really?
Vo's. Oh, I love Vo's Vietnamese. That's my hearty recommendation. Get the L11 or L10, but I recommend the 11.
What's in the 11?
Chicken and beef bruschette with lightly fried rice and a shrimp spring roll. You get chicken, beef, shrimp, and pork for $7.
This one goes to 11.
It's fantastic.
I'm just trying to catch up. Wow.
Vo's Vietnamese, 35th and Lindale.
Okay.
Get him on as a sponsor.
Tell Francois I sent you, sir.
Andy Kindler. Huh?
Francois.
Yeah.
Francois at a Vietnamese restaurant?
Yeah, Francois.
French Vietnamese.
Yeah, French Vietnamese.
yeah.
Yeah, because of
Come on,
the French colonized Vietnam. That's where the banh mi came from, I believe.
C'est vrai.
Wow.
Je parle français. Et tu?
Je parle un peu français. Poquito.
Mais oui, c'est incroyable.
A guy from Kentucky that speaks French. This is the weirdest thing ever. Weirdest thing ever.
Jerry Weintraub, I was shocked. I was heading out the door and I saw an obit happen on television. I went, damn. Because he was always this youthful producer, even though he goes way back to Elvis and Frank Sinatra. And he wrote a book, and I got a chance to talk to him about when he was pimping that book. And here's a little bit about do you guys, are you familiar with the name Jerry Weintraub?
Not at all.
Yeah.
I'm looking him up.
Yeah, well, listen to this. Here's from CBS.
Hollywood is remembering one of its most successful storytellers. Famed producer Jerry Weintraub died Monday. He was 77. His career spanned more than 5 decades, stretching from music to movies. He worked with some of the biggest stars in the business, including Elvis Presley, George Clooney, and Julia Roberts.
I just said Jerry Weintraub in Morse code.
Jerry Weintraub produced for some of the biggest stars in Hollywood during his 50-year career.
By the way, this is the worst crime that television does. They repeat the same intro. This guy's about to say the same thing the dude who introed it did.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a fantastic door. It was built in a magical forest, and here's that story. Roll tape. Hey, here's a door that was built in a magical forest. And you're okay.
People like to rock, some people like to roll, but moving and the grooving gonna satisfy my soul and have a party.
In 1970, he took Elvis Presley on his first arena tour. Then Weintraub presented Frank Sinatra to Madison Square Garden in 1974.
She's broke, but it's so. She loves
That was a great special.
He worked with Dylan and Diamond, Dolly Parton, and John Denver.
Breathe in through nose, out the mouth. Wax on, wax off.
Weintraub made his move to movies, and in 1984 he scored a hit with The Karate Kid.
Come ask leave boy alone.
The Power Player had a rare misstep in 1990, and he told Charlie Rose how it felt when his company went bankrupt.
It hurt me that I failed. But you can't succeed if you don't try. You know, you have to try things.
He started over with a new production company based at Warner Brothers with the film Pure Country.
I came here for you. I want to get on with my life. I want you with me.
You're a thief and a liar.
His 2001 film, a remake of Ocean's 11, featured a who's who of Hollywood.
That's right.
That film and its 2 sequels grossed more than $1 billion.
And that's how you get out of bankruptcy, ladies and gentlemen.
Weintraub's small screen projects with big screen stars were hits too.
Good morning.
Behind the Candelabra featured Michael Douglas as Liberace and went on to win 11 Emmy Awards.
Did you guys see that, by the way? Candelabra?
Yeah, it's great.
When they first said Michael Douglas is going to be Liberace, I said, there's no way. But he did it.
I heard he pulled it off. I still haven't seen
he was
it, but
great. He and Matt Damon were fantastic in that movie.
All right, here's the end of the obit.
In the 2011 HBO documentary His Way, Weintraub reflected on his life.
In Judaism, we believe that you leave your spirit leaves your body and goes on to the afterlife. I don't want my spirit to just leave. I want everything to go. So I'm trying to figure out who can get me there in one piece.
Anyway, I had the opportunity to interview him, and he's a fantastic guy. Just was upbeat and a great storyteller. He talked about John Denver was also one of his big 70s hit, and no one could figure it out because in the 70s, disco was still strong, Saturday Night Fever, Staying Alive, and here's this dude with a bowl cut and a guitar, but Jerry saw him at a small venue, a club in New York City, and said, I don't know, Country Roads, Take Me Home, I think we can do something with this.
Nice.
And bam, it became him. For a moment there, John Denver had his own TV special.
Yeah.
He
In
was
that
in
movie.
movies with George Burns.
Yeah.
And so he seemed to have the magic touch. And Frank
Crappy
Sinatra was having a crisis going, I can't do this anymore. I'm a mess. You know, he tells the story about how he had to go up to the room in Vegas, some penthouse suite, and basically hug and rock a crying, sobbing Frank Sinatra in his arms going, we're going to get you back on top. And then they came up with this idea of putting him in a boxing ring in Madison Square Garden and doing this live TV show that Frank would refuse to rehearse for. He said, Jerry, just wave a sign when you're going to break and, I'll know. And then wave when it comes. He never did a, welcome back from commercial. They just would join in progress. If you ever see the special, it's a great special. Everyone who was anyone at that time was in the audience. I mean, it was the Manny Pacquiao pay-per-view event of, I think it was 79 or 80 or something. Anyway, it was great. Howard Cosell was the announcer, just the ad to it's a main event. Very cool. So, Jerry Weintraub, 77. Did it say how he died? Was he struggling with cancer or something? Because he was a fit guy. He was very buoyant. He wasn't frail at all. I think it was just like 2 or 3 years ago that I interviewed him.
Well, this one mentions nothing about just he's dead, and he's
dead.
a great guy.
He's a great guy, and he's
Jared Fogle did it. Subway.
Choked him with a sandwich.
Choked him with a sandwich.
Dressed up as a toddler.
Cosby drugged him. There it is. He died of an overdose.
That's not true. And then he had kind of an open marriage, too. He was dating his secretary for a couple of 20 years, and his wife was fine with it as long as she was able to keep her house. And I mean, that takes a very special kind of a guy to pull that one off, I'm here to tell you.
Well, it looks like he's dead. I can tell you that much. That much I can confirm.
fine.
But there's really, it actually speaks to someone that if you can look them up in the first 4 or 5 articles, don't say how they died. And they just talk about what their accomplishments are and what they've done. That's pretty cool.
That means they either died of something super boring or something really exciting.
Yeah.
It's one or the other.
Yeah. He was in his closet. He had a belt around his neck.
Cardiac arrest. There we go. Whoa.
Was it a cardiac arrest? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I did learn that when we hear that in our ear, they don't hear that on the podcast.
So now you just mentioned something that you should, because no one knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
We're hearing phantom ghosts.
No,
Yeah.
they aren't.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah. No.
Anyway.
I always hear the phantom
Hey,
ghosts.
Bryan, how you doing?
Not too bad.
Did you like those Ocean 11 movies?
No.
Yeah, why not?
It's just a celebrity whore fest. It's just like, look, let's look at 9 guys that we know at the same time. They're unwatchable movies. It's the worst thing Steven Soderbergh ever did.
Why? Yeah, well, yeah, Steven Soderbergh, who is
Super talented.
Right. Brad Pitt was named Rusty, though. I like that part about it.
Yeah, no one had
After you.
anything to do in those movies. It's just people standing around looking good in suits.
It's a very good point. A very interesting take on that. I was never really that into him.
It's all aesthetics. It's Steven Soderbergh nicely lighting handsome people in suits, and then they stand in a room. It looks like a fucking catalog ad that started moving.
But I mean, far too young, but wasn't that the appeal of the Rat Pack, the original?
I'm not a fan of the Rat
inspiration?
Pack either, so that's easy to do.
Just watch Frank and Dean.
Give me Taxi Driver any day. Give me a real movie where something happens, where someone has a
talking
thought.
to me.
One time someone had a thought. That'd be great.
Talking to me?
What?
Frank Sinatra is a terrible actor, by the way.
Yeah.
God-awful actor.
No.
Oh, my God. If you watch him do karate in The Manchurian Candidate, try not to throw yourself out a fucking window.
Because that's one of his better movies, actually.
Yeah, it's a great movie that he's terrible in. He's the worst part of that movie. Angela Lansbury rocks that movie. And what's his name who died, who plays the actual Manchurian Candidate, is fantastic. But Sinatra's god-awful.
Yeah, what was his name? He was
Denzel Washington?
Oh. No.
He's like the John Cazale type guy, where it was only in a few movies and he died, but he's great in the original Manchurian Candidate.
What about From Here to Eternity? Frank won his Academy Award from that, right?
Oh, you mean the movie? The movie that he probably some producer, the famous The Godfather story, The Horse Head in the Bed, is about Frank Sinatra getting from here to eternity. So it's like, so James Jones wrote a good book and some mafia guys put you in a position where you could stand next to other talented actors in a good movie to get something. Congratulations, Mr. New Jersey.
You could be a man. Yeah.
Here's what I'm getting from Brian Miller. He has an opinion. Occasionally.
What any movies that have excited you in the last 5 years?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, what?
I'm a movie critic. I write for Nightlife as a newspaper down in Illinois. I've been a movie critic for them for 17 years.
Oh, cool.
And CarbondaleRocks.com is their website. You can see my movie reviews there.
Now, are you one of those guys that, like tonight, I have a screening of Minions that I'll be doing a review for WCCO. Are you like, F you, Minions? I already know it's a McDonald's cheeseburger corporate, and I'm not going to go.
No, I mean, I see, I do 2 a week. So 2 a week times 52 weeks. What are you going to do? You're going to see a lot of
movies.
Do you sway toward, if it's not at the Lagoon, I'm not going?
No, because I actually I only review movies that are playing in these smaller markets in southern and central Illinois, which is where the...
So you're forced to go to Magic Mike XXL.
Yes, so I'm forced to see all that stuff, but I actually like that better in a way, because I would already see the Lagoon movies. I think it's interesting to see movies you would never see. I like watching movies that are made for teenage girls or young black guys or, I like movies that are outside of your demographics.
Did I read that Soderbergh was the cinematographer for the sequel? He directed Magic Mike.
His assistant director or something. One of his guys was the director of the new one. Yeah,
and I thought I read that Steven then just picked up the camera for him and shot it, which is an interesting thing to do.
He's allegedly done that on several movies, or directed scenes from movies, or just sort of helped his friends out.
And he's not going to be retired, right? No. Why say that, Steven? That's just dumb talk.
I completely agree. Just take a few years off. Don't do the band thing where you retire and then you keep coming back out of retirement.
And Quentin Tarantino says he's going to retire before he gets too old. I am to think Clint Eastwood, as a director, is doing pretty well in his 80s.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, most of American Sniper was compelling.
Yeah, but Quentin's probably got a museum of cocaine and feet to sit around in, so that's all he needs is cocaine and feet. He just wants to do blow off Uma Thurman's big toe.
Yeah, he does have a foot fetish, supposedly.
Supposedly? Have you seen his movies where every movie has a lingering shot of feet?
Yeah.
The movie Death Proof just called Rosario Dawson's Feet.
Yeah.
I like it, by the way. It's good. But there's
crazy.
a lot of feet in those movies.
I feel like I'm watching a car going 100 miles an hour down a dusty road, and I'm just trying to catch up to you guys. This is great from the sidelines.
I did one of the junkets and went out for the Glorious Bastards.
Great movie.
Got a chance to chat with the whole cast. But then I'm at my lunch break, and I pretty much got the whole cast in the morning. And I'm staying at the Four Seasons, Beverly Hills, open balcony. And suddenly, I'm just like, I would love just to grab like a half-hour nap here, 45 minutes. And then I'm here. I look down, and there's Quentin Tarantino at the head of this big table, his entire cast. And keep in mind, they probably wrapped like 9 months at least, a year prior. But they're still beckoned to the king. And they were all in rapt attention, watching his every move, and he's spewing out. He's standing,
he's brilliant,
delivering a sermon to Brad Pitt and the whole cast. I wanted to go, shut up.
That's how my wife feels. My wife loves his movies and can't stand him, and I think he's amazing. I love him.
Yeah.
I saw him on Broadway. I saw him do Wait Until Dark with Marissa Tomei on Broadway.
Really? He had to be the killer.
He was Harry Rote. Yeah. Oh, I was awesome. He got terrible reviews, but I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Hateful Eight. We looking forward to that?
Yeah. He's never made a bad movie, so...
that's pretty true.
His worst movie is what? Death Proof is probably his worst movie.
Yeah.
That's not a bad movie.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane what a track record that guy
It
has.
reminds me of in the 70s when I was a kid going sneaking off to the drive-in and seeing those movies, those type of movies.
Yeah, I like 70s movies. That's the era.
What's the one he did where they're down south and all of a sudden everyone turns into a vampire and attacks them in the motor?
Well, he did. That's Robert Rodriguez. Dusk Till Dawn. He wrote it, and he starred in it.
I'd say
George
that's a bad
Clooney's,
but he's not. He didn't
first.
direct it. I'm
Yeah,
talking the movie directed by Quentin Tarantino. There's not bad ones.
No.
So anything this year that has cut your mustard?
I liked Inside Out a lot.
Thank you.
Really?
That was terrific. It's one of the best Pixar movies.
My 10-year-old and I were debating the merits
You
of it
just
yesterday.
gave it a thumbs down yesterday. I think
Yeah,
it's great,
I
and I
know.
especially. And you said you're not a father. I thought, as a father, it just tore at my heart. Is it gets to the point that you're saying goodbye to the innocence of childhood, and
Yeah, no, it was Pixar. That was great. Mad Max was great.
oh, that was a visual.
Yeah, that was
That was
interesting.
terrific.
Yeah.
That's the best action movie I've seen in a really long time.
That one was weird, but likable.
My wife, who she's game for sci-fi and stuff, she came out of there going, "I need to lay down."
Yeah. It is exhausting. Yeah, that one.
It was visually amazing, especially since the effects were practical.
Uh-huh.
Which is why it looked good.
Yeah.
I saw that, and I saw Terminator misspelled Genesis a couple of days ago.
Why do that?
That was that looks like a computer game after Mad Max.
Yeah.
You see real stuff blow up, and then you just watch.
I have to confess, I did get all little titter every time Arnold was on. It was nice to see
The
Arnold
first half
doing
hour
that.
that was strong. When you're like, oh hey, this might turn out to be a good movie.
Yeah.
Oh no, surprise, no. But when old Arnold fought young Arnold, I was in.
And isn't that cool? And I'm glad the director made that choice, because you're wondering, okay, how are they going to present the young Arnold? CGI, it's going to look fake. And instead he dove right in, and you get a close-up of young Arnold with sweat coming down. It's still, your body still knows it's CGI, but it's pretty damn cool.
No, it was good.
I didn't know it was CGI. I'm dumb.
You thought somehow
I
they
thought
did
it was
get-
real. I thought they somehow had two Arnold alive, and it was impressive. That was
I've written a
the impressive part for me.
screenplay, and I wrote it 10 years ago, and I'm still tweaking it, where I said I want all these iconic characters to be represented by CGI. I don't want actors in wigs. I want to see these actors for real in a movie together. So now looks like it can be done.
You mean like Brando? You're talking like the super, like you got Brando and Paul Newman and or whatever, kind of that the idea?
Yeah.
Charlie Chaplin.
So you want like the Tupac hologram times 10. You want to make Ocean's 92 or whatever with all the greatest hits.
I don't want to give too much away, but I did talk to James Cameron, because I was out at Avatar for when that was a junket in London, and I spoke at length with him. And he goes, dude, this can be done. Technology does exist. You're going to have problems with the estate, and I, as a director, wouldn't do it, because maybe Brando himself, even though who's ever managing his estate is like, hell yeah, we want him in a trucker movie.
You're going to need a bigger hologram for Brando.
Maybe Brando or Paul Newman, because as I was percolating the idea, I spoke with him for the movie Cars, of all things. He was totally against the idea. I didn't then divulge
I would imagine he was. We just put a ball cap on a jar of spaghetti sauce and put it out there. No one will know the difference.
I didn't divulge that. Well, yeah, I think that's a horrible idea. I've written a screenplay just like that.
There's a movie kind of about that. I forget the title. Julianne Moore was just in it, I think, where the woman plays the actress who is going to be... Robin Wright. And she's scanned, and she's going to become the model for all these new computer-generated actresses so they can use them in the future.
Is that Al Pacino as the producer?
No, that's Simone. I think you're thinking
Yeah.
of. That was This is newer. It was a year or two ago. Robin Wright Penn. Just Robin Wright now, I guess. She's penless.
Yeah, so Charlize Theron.
Yeah, yeah.
She caught on to the creepy Sean Penn.
Yeah, he seems like a douche.
I did not like his gangster movie that he came out with. I want to see him act.
What was his gangster movie?
Last year, what was that? He was the assassin that got called back for one more hit.
The Taken knockoff.
Yeah.
The gunman.
And yeah, they ended up in a bullfight.
Super generic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, really, Sean? You present yourself as this intellectual and a cinephile, but you don't see through the script you're doing.
It was so you could tell how it was a Sean Penn because it was a garbage action movie, but he played an African aid worker. So like you could tell someone's like, "What if we make him an aid worker and jerk him off? Do you think we can get him to do this movie where he shoots people in the head?" Yeah, all right.
That pretty much is what I thought too. It's like, oh,
make him an aid worker and jerk him off. That's, that's pretty well
that'll
put.
work for Jared from Subway, I
Yeah,
think.
but- yeah.
Any other movies this year?
I just saw The Overnight this week. I enjoyed that. It's kind of a modern Bob and Ted and Carol and Alice kind of thing. Very strange. Jason Schwartzman, Adam Scott. A lot of dong in that movie. It's pretty funny.
A lot of dong.
A lot of dong.
Nice.
That's actually a plot keyword on IMDb. It's like graphic nudity, penises, or whatever, because there's so much.
I think this Inside Out, though, might be in play for the Academy Award season.
I think so. I think that and Mad Max. Mad Max won't win anything other than maybe technical awards, but I think those will turn out to be two of the better movies of the year.
Were you a fan of Birdman?
No.
Really?
And why not?
Technically, really impressive movie. It had about 20 minutes worth of story that it repeated over and over and over again in case you weren't smart enough to get it the first time. Every time he walked out of that theater and walked in, the movie was exactly the same, and it did it 5 times.
That's what an interesting
I guess I'm not smart enough because I liked it. And I said it would have worked even without the trickery.
Yeah, but the trickery was there because there wasn't any substance.
Yeah.
The trickery was there to make sure that you didn't notice that there was 20 minutes worth of story.
I liked it because it was just raw, straight up acting.
Also,
I love that part of it.
Great acting.
Yeah.
God awful ending. The ending that mistakes ambiguity for profundity. Oh, if we don't know what happens, it must have been deep. No, not necessarily. You just didn't have an ending.
When does ambiguity for an ending work?
Oh, all the time. I mean, but there was. You put me on the spot. I'm trying to think of a movie that ambiguous ending. Oh, okay. Is it Pale Rider? What's the one where Clint rides off in the end and you don't know if he's dead or not? Red, where he paints the whole town red. One of my favorite Eastwood movies. Not Hang 'em High. High Plains Drifter. High Plains Drifter's got a nicely ambiguous ending. Was he a ghost? Was he the brother? Was he shot? Doesn't really matter necessarily, but it's interesting to think from all those angles.
Inception. Does the top keep spinning?
Yeah, that was whatever. Oh, just read a great novel by Julian Barnes called A Sense of an Ending, and it's all about how there's a false ending and then maybe a completely different ending, but like the whole point of the book is it's up to you to decide what the ending was, and it changes your conception of the original part of it. That was a great book. That was how ambiguity adds meaning to both sides versus, I think in Birdman, they didn't know what to do, and as long as they left it ambiguous, they didn't have to say anything, because to say something would be, they didn't have anything to say.
Well, how about the heat? Does she keep the weight on? That's my question. So
it's my buddy's daughter-in-law, so I'm not going to talk shit
about
it is? Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
She's losing weight, by the way.
She's terrific. God, I'll tell you what was good. I'll tell you it's a better movie than it had any right to be was Spy.
Right.
That was fun.
I haven't seen that.
I did not know it was going to be such a direct spoof of Bond.
And spoof of her career. I thought that was the brilliance of that is that movie's like all the other spies get these great cover stories, and then Melissa McCarthy's a great spy, but her cover stories are like increasingly lame. Like she's supposed to be an uglier, dumber, each fake identity, and it's like that was like to me a commentary on when these directors get a hold of her, they don't know what to do with her, and they're like doubt her up and make her stupid. And so then in the movie she's like, fuck this, I'm gonna be awesome, and then she comes out in her suit, and she's kicking ass, and it's like, yes, that's exactly what Melissa McCarthy really is. She's much better than people's conception of her.
And she was reteamed with the Bridesmaid director Paul Feig,
who's so good.
Yeah,
his books are great too.
I haven't been able to watch a movie of hers since The Heat. You and I have talked about this.
You didn't like it?
It was the worst movie I've ever seen.
No, go see Tammy.
Really?
My buddies directed that. So.
Sorry.
I don't know why that didn't work.
It's a paid gig. It's a paid gig.
She wrote that. It was a project she and her husband did.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Hey, movies are hard to make. There's a lot of movies that I feel like Tammy is one of those movies that probably worked on paper and it could have. You just never know what's going to.
What about Ted 2? How'd you feel about that?
Oh, what a travesty!
Are you a fan of Family Guy?
No.
How about Ted 1?
All right.
Obviously not.
No. I think Seth MacFarlane's a funny guy, but I don't.
There was like 2 scenes in that movie that I went, okay, that's funny.
Yeah, like every Family Guy episode, 2 great jokes, and then there's about 19 more minutes.
But unlike Family Guy, I wish they would have been more like Family Guy, where they keep more jokes coming, because he slowed that movie down too many times. Did we need the song and the animals joining the campfire?
Indulgent. That's Seth MacFarlane loves his musical numbers.
Yeah.
However, Liam Neeson checking out of the grocery was funny.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson, I feel like I'm surprised he's not here. He's in everything. I just assumed he'd be here. I can't go anywhere without seeing Liam Neeson. I think he's working over at Vo's. He's making my chicken.
And then that they have a good time going to improv and shouting out inappropriate suggestions. You didn't like that?
No.
I laughed. I thought that was funny.
You know it's bad when you can't even get me to laugh at improv people. Usually torturing improv people is the quickest way to my heart.
Any movies that you were looking forward to now that we're halfway through summer? Trainwreck, are you... Everyone's talking about this is going to be the funniest thing since ever.
I'm not I'm a little Amy Schumer out. No, I think.
Look at you. You're gonna hate on the movie before you even get in there. You're
No,
gonna
I'm just not. No, I'd never do that. It might be a very
march
good
on
movie.
in, and I'm
Amy
hate this
Schumer
movie.
out. That's an interesting take.
I just feel
especially
like
for
everybody has that overexposure level
Yeah.
at a certain point where you're just like, I feel like I see them every time I open my eyes. I mean, it's enough. It's enough of them for a little while.
I feel that way about Bill Cosby. Yeah, really do.
Well,
Bill
hopefully we
Cosby
won't be seeing much of Bill anymore. So, any movies you're looking forward to?
I don't even know what's coming out. I don't. Because I see so many movies, I don't pay attention to what's coming out. I just see what's in right now, and I just hope something good shows up all the time. I mean, does P.T. Anderson doesn't have a new movie coming out? Wes Anderson doesn't have a new movie coming out?
What was P.T. Anderson's last movie?
Oh, The Master. He did one after, did he do the one after The Master? Oh yeah, Inherent Vice.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I liked it.
I liked it. But I love P.T. Anderson is my favorite director.
But I knew, because reading about it, I knew don't try and figure it out.
You know what? That's one of the reasons I didn't like it as much as the book actually can be figured out. The book actually has more of a plot than you would think, and I was like, oh man, the movie kind of lost track of that.
Okay, so
it was good though.
I'm cheating here. Here's some of my screenings that are coming up. Ant-Man. Do we care? Marvel's Ant-Man. And supposedly, if you're a comic
could
book,
be good, but no, I don't. I'm not looking forward to that.
and it's what's his face? I'm blanking.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd.
Charming fellow.
Charming fellow. I'm not getting. First of all, supposedly in the Marvel universe, oh yeah, Ant-Man's very important. I'm like, really?
No,
it's a freaking bug. It's a joke. And then you have Paul Rudd playing it. I'm like, Southpaw. Jake Gyllenhaal gets all.
Was he? Maybe
muscly.
Maybe Nightcrawler was great.
Yeah, that was a good film.
Oh, great movie. He's so good.
that
in
one.
that.
So he goes from very thin to now Muscle Man, and there's somehow a revenge fight. His wife gets killed accidentally. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
And the Vacation reboot.
If you say reboot, I'm already half disinterested.
But you'll watch it. I mean, to review it, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
And again, that's with funny guy from The Daily Show in the Hangover
Ed Helms,
movies.
yeah.
Ed Helms.
Very funny guy.
Very
Good-
funny
could be-
guy.
You never know what's going to... I never have expectations coming in because sometimes you think something's going to be terrible and it'll just knock your socks off, and sometimes something looks great and it's terrible.
And it sounds like it's going to be a very self-aware version of Vacation.
That's usually a big red flag for me. Any self-awareness is the plague of modern movies. Like in that god-awful Jurassic Park sequel, where in the opening scene they're like, well, we had to engineer different dinosaurs because the public's tired of regular dinosaurs. It's like, that's funny because I'm in a theater fucking sold out 350 people all who came here to see dinosaurs. I kind of don't think they are.
I haven't seen that one yet. Don't tell me. Do they break out? Do they escape?
Yeah, I feel like
I tried to break out. I would have liked to escape.
There's a breakouty vibe.
You hated it more than I did. I thought it was, whatever. I enjoyed seeing the dinosaurs.
What I dislike more than anything in movies is disingenuity or
Genuous.
disingenuousness. I don't like when a movie is cynically calculated to push a button. I don't like when a movie thinks it's ahead of you and it isn't, because most movies are made by dumb people who are never ahead of anyone. And that movie was especially stupid.
I knew that going into Jurassic, it could never recreate the magic of seeing that first CGI Brontosaurus with the John Williams score.
Yeah.
And I was
Great
like,
movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can never. All right. And then
Jurassic Park 3, that's the underrated sequel. Jurassic Park 3 is absolutely fun because it's, I believe the guy who directed The Rocketeer.
Joe Dante.
It wasn't Joe Dante, it was Joe Johnson.
Oh, Joe Johnson.
He just goes like, all right, I'm just going to make an hour-and-a-half long monster movie. I'm ditching the majesty. I'm ditching the characters. Dinosaurs, scary monsters, island.
And that's considered the worst one by many critics.
Because they're idiots. 2 and 4 are both just trying to tickle you exactly where they think you want to be tickled. And 3 is just like, old-school monster movie.
Yeah. Joe Dante did the monkey one.
Monkey Shines?
No, the King Kong ripoff with Charlize Theron.
Oh, Joe Dante? Mighty Joe Young?
I think so.
The reboot? I never saw that.
Yeah. Well,
I'm fine with that.
You're fine with that.
Yeah.
Lastly, Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible. Dun, dun, dun,
Last
dun,
one was fun.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Those movies exhaust me. They just get so outrageous.
Here's my opinion. It's hard because of all the craziness. We've been talking this whole hour, but by the way, we got to wrap it up. We've gone more than an hour, but we talked about how you can't ever hear a Bill Cosby joke again or see his show again because of his behind-the-scenes craziness. Even if you have a craving for a poop sandwich, you're going to be thinking about Jared now and molesting children. Tom Cruise's Scientology freakishness and Going Clear. Did you see the HBO documentary? I mean, it's just like, good Lord. He's still one of the last big Hollywood stars.
Yeah.
In that Paul Newman type Hollywood star category. And it's a shame.
Yeah, well, there's no scandal that we know of. He doesn't get super preachy. I mean, he's been on shows and talking his crap, and I think he's just a phenomenal actor, even though I can't stand him as a person.
Check out Going Clear, and you'll...
Yeah, maybe change my...
There's some creepiness there, yeah. But no, he's really talented, but I think it's a bummer that in the last decade or so, he's just like, I'll just make all those action movies that I kind of avoided making for a long time.
Yeah.
Because he used to really only do action movies every now and then. He used to do a lot of different stuff, but now he's like,
Yeah.
all right, hand me a gun.
Eyes
I'll
Wide
run after
Shut, Vanilla Sky.
This 15,000 square foot isn't going to heat itself?
Magnolia, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was his first excellent cameo.
He was funny as the bombastic studio guy in
Tropic
Thunder.
Thunder.
I bought that movie the day it came out because of Tom Cruise. That was
I'll tell you what, Interview with a Vampire, if you go back and rewatch that movie,
that's
it's a
right.
decent movie anyway, but you watch that movie and realize Tom Cruise was the only person in that production who realized that his character was supposed to be gay. And he's the best person in the movie because the vampire, it's two gay dudes raising a kid. That's what that book's about.
Yeah.
And Brad Pitt's like, because this is young Brad Pitt before he figured it out. He's like, I'm pretty handsome. I'm a vampire. I'm a handsome vampire. And Tom Cruise is like, no, we're totally gay, Brad. Come on over here with me. It's like, no, he's a great actor.
Did you remember that Brad Pitt was in that one, Chuck?
I did.
Kirsten Dunst played the
I never actually saw the whole
child
movie.
vampire. Oh, it's a good movie. Yeah. Christian Slater's the interviewer, doing his best Jack Nicholson
Oh, yeah,
impression,
that's
like always.
right. Yeah.
All right. Well, we've done it. We have
You're
killed
hard to
an
keep up with.
entire hour.
So you're going to rework with Andy Kindler all week here.
Yeah.
Acme.
Looking forward to that.
He's funny.
He's so funny.
Yeah. And very down to earth.
We're going to close the show with Sierra. I'm going to try not to touch myself.
Yeah,
so
don't touch
Acme, yeah, that's cool. That's it's big balls. That's the place for the Twin Cities to see comedy. Look
My
at
favorite
you.
place in the entire world.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even better than that Vietnamese restaurant?
If I can get Francois to deliver me some food there, and then we'll call it even.
Now, if Francois molests a child, will you go back?
Oof. No,
Yes.
can't even consider that kind of dark possibility. He's too nice of a guy.
If he roofies you, well, then you won't.
As long as it's with the bruschetta, I'll be fine. That's fine. I'll take a nap. It's a very comfortable place. They got big dark booths.
All right, sounds good. Who do we have on the show tomorrow?
Tomorrow we have Robert Burrill, radio host, comedian, blah, blah, blah.
I'm on Robert Burrill's show on Saturday.
Well, see?
What
So incestuous,
What
this
a
whole
circle
thing.
jerk we've got going here, huh?
Awesome. Well, there it is. That's a Tuesday. The sun's back out shining. It's summer here in Minnesota. Don't rape or molest anyone today. All right?
Or eat at Subway.
Yeah.
Well, your call, but
That's a whole different reason, though. Just because it's bad.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
I'm doing